Welcome back. Today we're talking about something that sounds complicated, but actually runs the food safety of some of the biggest brands in the world.
Today's topic is FSSC 22000, one of the most important food safety standards globally.
Okay, that already sounds serious. Is this like ISO?
Great question. It includes ISO, but it goes further. By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what it is, who needs it, and why companies can't export food without it.
Let's start simple. What does FSSC 22000 even stand for?
It stands for Food Safety System Certification 22000.
Still sounds heavy.
Think of it like this. If HACCP is the brain and GMP is the body, then FSSC 22000 is the complete operating system of a food company.
Operating system? Like Windows for food factories?
Exactly. It makes sure the factory doesn't crash, meaning no food safety disasters.
But why was this standard even created?
Because food supply chains became global. One contaminated ingredient can travel across countries in days.
So one mistake can go worldwide?
Yes, that's why global retailers said, we need one strong system everyone can trust.
And that became FSSC 22000?
Yes, it's GFSI-recognized, meaning global brands trust it.
Okay, what actually makes up FSSC 22000?
It has three main parts. First is ISO 22000, the management system. This covers leadership, communication, documentation, and risk thinking.
Second are prerequisite programs, or PRPs. These are hygiene basics like cleaning, pest control, equipment maintenance, and staff hygiene.
So this is like factory discipline?
Exactly.
Third are additional FSSC requirements. These include rules for food defense, food fraud, allergen control, and supplier approval.
So it's HACCP plus GMP plus management control.
Perfect summary.
Okay, so FSSC 22000 stands for Food Safety System Certification 22000. It's a mouthful, right? It still sounds pretty heavy-duty.
Yeah, the name itself doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. But think of it this way. If HACCP is like the brain of a food safety operation, identifying critical control points, and GMP, or good manufacturing practices, is the body, the foundational hygiene practices, then FSSC 22000, it's the complete operating system.
Operating system? Like Windows for food factories?
Exactly, or iOS for an apple orchard. It provides the structure, the rules, and the ongoing processes that make sure the whole thing doesn't crash. Think of it as a comprehensive framework designed to prevent food safety disasters. The goal of this isn't a response after the fact, but to prevent it from even happening in the first place.
So FSSC 22000 makes sure the factory doesn't crash, leading to food safety disasters. But why was it needed in the first place?
The world changed. Food supply chains became incredibly global. You could have an ingredient sourced from one country, processed in another, packaged in a third, and sold in a fourth. That means one contaminated ingredient can travel across multiple countries in a matter of days.
So one mistake can literally go worldwide?
Precisely. It's like a ripple effect. That's why global retailers and major food brands essentially said, we need one strong, reliable, and universally understood system that everyone can trust. This is all about liability.
And that became FSSC 22000?
Yep. The big thing is that it's GFSI recognized.
GFSI?
Global Food Safety Initiative. Basically, it's an organization that benchmarks different food safety standards. GFSI recognition means that the world's largest food companies and retailers trust FSSC 22000. It's a mark of credibility and reliability.
So we know FSSC 22000 was created because food supply chains went global. But why is that such a big deal? What's so different now?
Think about it this way. 50 years ago, most food was sourced locally. Your milk came from the farm down the road. Your apples were from the orchard a few towns over. Now, your yogurt might contain ingredients from 5 different countries.
Okay, so more ingredients, more places.
Exactly. And that means more potential points of failure. Let's say a spice supplier in India contaminates a batch of cumin with salmonella.
Yikes.
That cumin gets shipped to food manufacturers in the US, Canada, and Europe. Suddenly, we have a multinational outbreak linked to a single ingredient. The problem isn't just one contaminated product, it's the ripple effect across the entire food system.
That makes sense. One mistake can really snowball.
It can. And it's not just about bacteria like Salmonella or E. coli. It could be a chemical contaminant, an undeclared allergen, or even intentional adulteration, food fraud. The further your supply chain stretches, the harder it becomes to monitor and control every step.
So how did global retailers respond to this increased risk?
They realized they needed a common language, a unified standard for food safety. They couldn't individually audit every single supplier across the globe. It was just too inefficient and costly.
So they wanted to outsource trust, basically?
Precisely. They said, we need a system that everyone can trust, a benchmark that demonstrates a commitment to food safety regardless of location. And that's where GFSI comes in, the Global Food Safety Initiative.
GFSI. We hear that a lot.
GFSI is essentially a seal of approval. They don't create standards, but they recognize standards that meet their criteria. FSSC 22000 is one of those GFSI-recognized standards.
So GFSI is like the quality control for food safety standards.
Exactly. GFSI recognition tells retailers this standard is robust, it's credible, it meets a global benchmark for food safety. That gives them the confidence to accept FSSC 22000 certification as proof that a supplier is operating safely.
So a company with FSSC 22000 certification is already pre-approved in a way by major retailers?
In many cases, yes. It streamlines the approval process, reduces the need for redundant audits, and ultimately ensures a safer food supply for everyone.
Okay, that makes the one strong system everyone can trust much clearer. Absolutely. FSSC 22000's credibility comes from its recognition by the Global Food Safety Initiative, or GFSI. Think of GFSI as the United Nations of food safety standards. If GFSI approves a standard, it's globally respected.
So FSSC 22000 is like a gold standard because GFSI trusts it.
Exactly. Now, let's break down those three main parts we mentioned earlier. First, ISO 22000. This is the foundation. It's all about how a company manages food safety, not just the technical stuff. It includes things like setting food safety objectives, having clear communication plans, detailed documentation, and a proactive approach to risk.
Risk thinking, that sounds important.
It is. It means constantly asking, what could go wrong and how can we prevent it? Next, we have prerequisite programs, or PRPs. These are the non-negotiable hygiene practices. Think of it as the bedrock of food safety.
So more than just washing your hands.
Way more. It's about having robust cleaning schedules, effective pest control, preventative equipment maintenance, and strict staff hygiene policies. It covers everything from the type of soap used to the frequency of cleaning drains.
Okay, factory discipline. Got it. What about the third part, the additional FSSC requirements?
These are extra layers of protection tailored to modern food safety threats. They include things like food defense, protecting against intentional contamination, and food fraud prevention, which ensures the ingredients are authentic. Allergen control is a big one too, along with rigorous supplier approval processes.
Food fraud? That's like fake olive oil being sold as real.
Precisely. FSSC 22000 makes companies think about these vulnerabilities and put controls in place. And supplier approval means verifying your suppliers also have strong food safety systems. It's all about building trust and traceability throughout the supply chain.
So it's HACCP, GMP, plus management muscle all working together?
Absolutely. Think of it like levels of defense. HACCP identifies and controls hazards, GMP provides a clean and safe environment, and FSSC 22000 provides a system to manage and improve food safety continuously. By having all these elements, food safety can be achievable at any scale. Okay, let's dive deeper into these elements. ISO 22000, the management system part, is really about creating a culture of food safety. Leadership commitment is huge. It means top management actively supports food safety, not just pays lip service.
Right. And communication? That's both internal and external. Internally, it's ensuring everyone from the CEO to the cleaning crew knows their role in food safety. Externally, it's about clear communication with suppliers, customers, and regulatory bodies. Quick example. A food manufacturer needs to inform customers promptly if there's an issue like a potential allergen contamination.
Exactly. Then there's documentation. Think of it as the food safety Bible. Everything needs to be written down. Procedures, records, test results, training logs. If it isn't written down, it didn't happen. It's all about traceability and accountability.
And finally, risk thinking. This is proactive, not reactive. It's about identifying potential hazards, biological, chemical, physical, and putting controls in place to minimize those risks.
Now, about PRPs, those prerequisite programs, these are the bedrock of food safety. Cleaning and sanitation are obvious. If a factory isn't clean, nothing else matters. Think about the specific cleaning schedules, approved disinfectants, and verification methods that need to be in place.
Pest control is another critical one. It's not just about spraying chemicals. It's about preventing pests from entering in the first place, sealing crocks, inspecting deliveries, proper waste management.
And equipment maintenance. Imagine a rusty bolt falling into a batch of soup. Regular maintenance prevents that. It includes scheduled inspections, lubrication, and replacement of worn parts. Plus, you need records of all that maintenance.
Then comes staff hygiene. This is more than just hand washing, although that's crucial. It's about proper attire, no jewelry, hairnuts, and policies for sick employees. If someone has a stomach bug, they can't be handling food.
Right. Good staff hygiene prevents contamination from people. And you mentioned factory discipline earlier. I like that. It's about instilling a culture of adherence to these PRPs. It's not enough to just have the rules. You need to enforce them consistently. Everyone needs to buy in and understand why these practices are essential.
It all comes down to creating a safe environment where food can be produced without causing harm to consumers. The PRPs are non-negotiable. They are the foundation upon which everything else is built.
Okay, let's break down those extra FSSC requirements. Food defense means protecting food from intentional harm. Think disgruntled employees or even terrorism.
So, like security cameras and background checks.
Exactly. Then there's food fraud, or economically motivated adulteration. That's when someone deliberately alters or misrepresents food for profit.
Like diluting honey with corn syrup.
Precisely. FSSC requires systems to prevent this kind of thing, often using vulnerability assessments. Next up is allergen control. This is huge for consumer safety.
Because even tiny amounts of an allergen can cause a reaction.
Absolutely. FSSC requires companies to have strict procedures to prevent cross-contamination, dedicated lines, thorough cleaning, proper labeling. Finally, supplier approval. You need to know your suppliers are safe.
So auditing them and checking their certifications.
Yes, and having a system to track their performance. It's about building a reliable chain.
So FSSC 22000 is HACCP, Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points, the brain, plus GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices, the body, plus this management control layer.
You nailed it. Think of it this way. HACCP identifies what can go wrong. GMP provides the basic hygiene how, and the FSSC management system makes sure everything is consistently followed and improved.
So it's not just about reacting to problems, but proactively preventing them.
Exactly. It creates a culture of food safety with everyone on board, from the CEO to the cleaning crew. It's a comprehensive top-to-bottom approach to making sure food is safe. Okay, let's solidify this with an example. Imagine a dairy plant churning out tons of milk powder. How does FSSC 22000 play out in their day-to-day?
Paint the picture for us.
First off, the milk. FSSC 22000 demands rigorous testing before the milk even enters the production line. We're talking about checking for antibiotics, bacteria counts, and any other nasties that could compromise safety. Think of it as a gatekeeper, ensuring only the good stuff gets through.
Makes sense. Can't make safe powder from dodgy milk.
Exactly. Then there's the equipment. FSSC 22000 mandates meticulous cleaning and sanitation schedules. We're talking cleaning in place, or CIP systems, that automatically circulate cleaning solutions through pipes and machinery, plus regular inspections to verify everything is spotless. This involves using something called ATP swabs to measure the surface cleanliness. Lower the ATP, the cleaner the equipment.
So super clean machines.
Absolutely. Next up, metal detectors. These aren't optional extras, they're a crucial line of defense. FSSC 22000 requires them at multiple points in the process. Regular testing is also a must.
How do they test them?
They run test pieces of metal, ferrous, non-ferrous, and stainless steel through the detector to ensure it picks them up. If the detector fails, production stops until it's fixed.
Got it. What about the people making the milk powder?
Worker hygiene is paramount. FSSC 22000 spells out strict rules: hand-washing protocols, hair nets, clean uniforms, and no jewelry. Regular training reinforces these practices. They even have to monitor their health and report any illnesses that could contaminate the product.
Sounds intense.
It is. Allergen control is another biggie. Milk itself is an allergen, but what if the plant also processes other products containing allergens like soy or nuts? FSSC 22000 requires a detailed allergen management plan, including segregated production lines, thorough cleaning between product changes, and clear labeling to warn consumers.
So no cross-contamination allowed.
Precisely. And finally, record keeping. FSSC 22000 demands meticulous records of everything: testing results, cleaning schedules, maintenance logs, training records, and more. This documentation proves the system is working and allows for traceability in case of any issues. Think of it as the system's memory.
So if something goes wrong, they can trace it back to the source?
Exactly. That's the whole point. All these measures working together mean any potential problems are identified and corrected before they lead to unsafe product reaching consumers.
Prevention and action.
You got it. And in the long run, that prevention saves the company money, protects their brand reputation, and most importantly, keeps people safe. Let's dig a little deeper into this idea of prevention. In food safety, we talk a lot about being proactive, but what does that really mean under FSSC 22000?
It means designing systems that anticipate potential hazards before they even occur. Think of it like this. Instead of waiting for someone to get sick from a contaminated product, the reactive approach, FSSC 22000 focuses on the measures to make contamination virtually impossible in the first place.
So it's about identifying the what-ifs and building in safeguards.
Exactly. It's risk assessment on steroids. It's not just about knowing HACCP principles, but embedding them into the very culture of the company. For example, let's take food fraud. Say, diluting juice concentrate with water.
A common problem, sadly.
FSSC 22000 requires a vulnerability assessment. How likely is this to happen? How would we detect it? What economic factors might motivate someone to commit fraud? Then, based on that, you build in controls like supplier audits, ingredient testing, and traceability systems.
That makes sense. Prevention also has to be more cost-effective in the long run, right?
Absolutely. Think about the costs associated with a food recall. The lost product, the reputational damage, the potential lawsuits. These can be astronomical. Prevention, on the other hand, is an investment.
Can you give a quick equation for the benefit of our listeners?
Sure. Let's say the cost of prevention, CP, includes things like training, equipment upgrades, and system implementation. The cost of failure, CF, includes recall costs, legal fees, lost sales, and brand damage. The equation is simple. If CP is less than CF, then prevention is the financially smarter choice, and it nearly always is.
And let's not forget the human cost.
Of course, foodborne illnesses can be devastating. FSSC 22000, by preventing these outbreaks, directly protects public health. It's not just about profits, it's about people's well-being. It's a win-win situation. Companies save money, consumers stay safe, and trust in the food supply grows.
So FSSC 22000 isn't just another certification. It's a commitment to doing food safety right from the start.
Precisely. It's about building a food safety culture where everyone, from the CEO to the line worker, understands their role in preventing problems before they happen. It's about making safe food the default, not the exception.
Okay, so we've talked about who gets FSSC 22000 certification, but let's dig into that a bit more. We mentioned food manufacturers, ingredient suppliers, storage and transport, but also packaging manufacturers. Why them?
Because packaging is a primary food contact surface. Think about it. The inside of a cereal box, a milk carton, the plastic wrap on your cheese, these all directly touch the food we eat.
So if the packaging isn't safe, the food isn't safe.
Exactly. Contaminants can migrate from packaging into the food product. This is why FSSC 22000 extends its reach to packaging manufacturers. They need to demonstrate they're controlling hazards, just like the food producers themselves.
Give me an example of a potential packaging hazard.
Okay, imagine a flexible packaging film used for potato chips. If the inks used to print the brand logo on the film aren't properly cured, residual solvents could leach into the chips.
Yikes, that's not something you'd immediately think about. So what measures do packaging companies take?
They need robust prerequisite programs, just like food manufacturers. This includes things like supplier approval programs to ensure raw material safety, stringent hygiene controls in the printing and converting areas, and migration testing to confirm no harmful substances are transferring to the food.
Migration testing?
Yes, it's where they test the packaging material with food simulants under specific conditions to see if any chemicals transfer. This is often measured in parts per million or even parts per billion ppb. The regulatory limits for these migrations are very strict.
So they're essentially trying to quantify something really, really small.
Precisely. Think about it. We're talking about potentially harmful compounds leaching into food at levels that are almost undetectable, but even those trace amounts can pose a health risk over time. That's why FSSC 22000's rigorous controls are essential.
It's like the whole system is built on layers of defense.
Absolutely. From the farm to the factory and all the way to the packaging, FSSC 22000 aims to minimize risk at every stage. The goal is to deliver safe food to consumers, no matter where in the world they are.
And that's why even something seemingly distant from the actual food production, like packaging, falls under its umbrella.
Exactly. Every link in the chain matters. A weak link in packaging can compromise the entire food safety system.
So, we know what FSSC 22000 is, but let's talk brass tacks. Why should a company actually spend the time and money to get certified?
It boils down to three big business reasons: market access, easier exporting, and smoother audits. Think of it as an investment, not just an expense.
Market access makes sense. You mentioned earlier that big retailers practically require it. Can you expand on that?
Absolutely. Picture a major supermarket chain. They want to ensure consistent safety across all their products, regardless of the supplier's location. FSSC 22000 provides that assurance. Without it, you might find your product simply isn't on their shelves. They won't even consider you as a supplier. It's like not having a ticket to the game.
So it's a gatekeeper to major markets?
Exactly. And not just retail. Food service, manufacturing, many large buyers insist on GFSI-recognized certifications like FSSC 22000. It significantly expands your potential customer base.
What about exporting? How does FSSC 22000 help there?
Exporting food comes with a mountain of regulations that vary from country to country. FSSC 22000 streamlines that process. Because it's internationally recognized, it demonstrates to regulatory bodies that you meet a high standard of food safety.
So it reduces red tape?
Precisely. It can minimize delays at borders, simplify documentation requirements, and even reduce the frequency of inspections by foreign authorities. It basically shows you are a serious player, and you are not going to be a food safety risk in their country.
And the third reason was easier audits?
Yes. Even if you do manage to get by without FSSC 22000, you'll face more frequent and rigorous audits from individual customers, regulatory agencies, and other stakeholders.
Sounds painful.
It is. Each audit costs time, money, and resources. FSSC 22000 acts as a comprehensive audit in itself. Passing it demonstrates compliance, potentially reducing the need for multiple separate audits.
Okay, so what are the consequences if a company doesn't invest in FSSC 22000?
Besides being excluded from key markets and facing export hurdles, it can severely damage your brand reputation. Imagine a recall linked to your product. The lack of FSSC 22000 would signal to consumers and other businesses that you weren't prioritizing food safety.
That could be devastating.
Absolutely. It erodes customer trust, leads to financial losses, and can even result in legal action. Ultimately, FSSC 22000 is about protecting your brand and ensuring long-term sustainability. The cost of not having it can be far greater than the investment itself.
Okay, so we've established what FSSC 22000 is, but why should a company actually spend the time and money to get certified? What are the real-world advantages?
Well, let's start with market access. Think of it like this. FSSC 22000 is increasingly becoming a de facto requirement for supplying major retailers and food service companies, especially those operating globally. Without it, you're essentially cutting yourself off from a huge chunk of the market. It's like trying to sell your product in a store that only accepts a specific credit card, and you don't have it.
So it's a key to unlock those big contracts?
Exactly. And it's not just about getting into those markets, it's about staying there. Food safety incidents can destroy a company's reputation overnight. FSSC 22000 helps build a stronger food safety culture, making prevention a priority.
How does it do that exactly? Is it just about having rules?
It's more than just rules. It's about embedding food safety into the company's DNA. For example, ISO 22000, which is a core component, emphasizes leadership commitment and employee involvement. This creates a culture where everyone, from the CEO to the line worker, understands their role in ensuring food safety. Think of it like a sports team. Everyone needs to be on the same page, working towards the same goal.
Makes sense. So fewer recalls. That's a pretty big deal, right?
Absolutely. Recalls are incredibly costly, not just in terms of direct expenses like retrieving products and lost sales, but also in terms of brand damage and potential lawsuits. FSSC 22000's focus on prevention drastically reduces the likelihood of recalls, saving companies significant amounts of money and protecting their reputation. It's the ROI that keeps on giving.
Can you quantify the cost savings? Give me a hypothetical example.
Let's say a company has a major recall that costs them $5 million in direct expenses, plus another $10 million in lost sales and brand damage. Implementing and maintaining FSSC 22000 might cost them, say, $100,000 per year. Over 5 years, that's $500,000. But if it prevents just one major recall, they've saved millions. The math is pretty compelling.
Okay, so it protects the bottom line. What about the more intangible benefits, like customer trust?
Customer trust is everything in the food industry. People need to feel confident that the food they're buying is safe. FSSC 22000 certification provides that assurance. It's like a seal of approval that tells consumers this company takes food safety seriously. And in today's world, where consumers are increasingly informed and demanding, that trust is invaluable. Plus, it demonstrates a commitment to quality, which can enhance brand loyalty. Ultimately, safer products build customer confidence, which drives sales.
So it's an investment in the brand itself.
Precisely. FSSC 22000 isn't just a certificate to hang on the wall. It's a strategic investment that provides global market access, cultivates a stronger food safety culture, minimizes costly recalls, and ultimately builds lasting customer trust. All of these things create a more resilient and profitable business.
Okay, let's recap. FSSC 22000, in a nutshell, is a comprehensive global food safety system. It's built on the foundation of ISO 22000.
Right. ISO 22000 provides that crucial management system framework. Think of it as the plan, do, check, act cycle for food safety. Leadership commitment, clear communication, documented procedures, all essential.
Exactly. Then we layer on the prerequisite programs, or PRPs. These are those essential hygiene and infrastructure controls, GMP, good manufacturing practices.
Factory discipline, cleaning schedules, pest control, proper waste management, maintenance, all designed to minimize contamination risks. These aren't suggestions, they're requirements.
And let's not forget those additional FSSC 22000 requirements. Food defense, preventing intentional contamination, food fraud, making sure what you say you're selling is actually what's in the package, allergen control.
Critical for protecting consumers. Proper labeling, segregation, cleaning to prevent cross-contamination. It's about transparency and trust. Plus, supplier approval. Knowing where your ingredients come from is half the battle.
So to put it all together, FSSC 22000 equals ISO 22000, the management system, plus PRPs, the hygiene basics, plus additional FSSC requirements like food defense and fraud.
And it's all focused on prevention, finding problems before they become problems. It's proactive, not reactive. It's thinking about what could go wrong and putting controls in place now.
Because a recall isn't just a headache, it's a potential health crisis and a brand disaster.
Exactly. And because FSSC 22000 is GFSI-recognized, it has that global brand trust. Big retailers require it. It's often a ticket to entry for exporting food products.
So it gives the business an edge in the competitive global market.
Absolutely. But it's more than just a certificate to hang on the wall. It's not just about passing an audit.
It's a framework, a way of operating, a culture of food safety that permeates the entire organization, from the CEO to the cleaning crew.
It's about building a system where everyone understands their role in keeping food safe.
And that's why FSSC 22000 is how safe food businesses run. It's structured common sense.
So to wrap things up, FSSC 22